Brendan Schaub's former handler, Mark Harley, is not done revealing things about Brendan. Technically, he wasn't his handler. He was like his assistant or something. But he talked about how Brendan got the 300 pages of evidence against Bobby Lee during that whole debacle. So he puts any update on how the 300 pages of evidence came about. Mark Harley puts cash in a duffel bag handed to a doofus to hand to fake hackers who promised for months they were making progress on shutting down the subreddit, and all they had to show was a Tiger Belly email account they claimed was connected to a frequent poster. Brendan immediately calls Bobby with the fake story saying the LA Times is doing a hit piece about him to get him on the phone before he and Brian threaten and berate him for 30 minutes. So Brendan Schaub paid hackers or fake hackers to try and shut down the Fighter and the Kid subreddit, which is kind of odd. And that evidence they had was one email account that said Robert Lee. But they weren't even looking for evidence of Bobby Lee. They were just trying to get that subreddit shut down, which has been done before. I won't say how to do it, but let's just say Kumi's brother got one shut down. And then he answers this question. Who was the frequent poster this Tiger Belly email was attached to? Basically, there was no way to prove who it was. It said Robert Lee, but you can type in any email to make a Reddit account, and it doesn't force you to verify, so he literally has no clue who it was. And that was such an odd thing that he thought Bobby Lee would be the one who ran the Fighter and the Kid subreddit, which also means he knows how much he's hated by other comedians. The fact that he would consider that a possibility. But, I mean, he hired hackers to try and shut down a subreddit. Ugh. The hell, man, he's suing YouTubers, so I guess a screenshot sent Kalila, just one thing that said Robert Lee, and they never showed the other 300 pages, because there are no other 300 pages, because they weren't looking for evidence, they were just trying to get that subreddit shut down. And probably what happened was the quote-unquote hackers were probably like, told him that Bobby Lee was involved, and he probably completely forgot about getting the subreddit shut down so he could switch the narrative to it's Bobby Lee running the subreddit. Then he called him with Callan, and they threatened Bobby Lee's career by throwing around Joe Rogan's name, in which they do all the time. They have to do that all the time. It's not the first instant that has happened where they were like, you better do this or we'll tell Rogan and you won't be able to go on Rogan or something. But, I mean, that's how that story turned out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.